live. Yeah, and I'm not sure if the comments will pop up on stream or not, as I just honestly do not know. And I have to rely on everything on phone right now, so I won't be able to see about any comments, unless if I tap this, if anyone's here. Try to say hello, because I'm not sure if it'll pop up, or will pop up, I don't know. But first of all, I'm just going to go over the active tropical systems. And go from there. Okay, Port Forchon is looking to be the landfall location in the next hour or so. I'd say closer to an hour, as it's 11 minutes till noon, and you're going to have another update then. And that could be the landfall, actually. But looking at Cat 2, but with how close it is to land, I think it is safe to rule out a Cat 5. So that is a plus, but it's not really much of a plus. But yeah, 105, 60-mile-an-hour winds into Mississippi. Cannot rule out this thing maintaining hurricane status going into Mississippi. 35-mile-an-hour wind tropical depression. 30 going into Tennessee. And that will add to the flooding hazards that they've already been having. 25-mile-an-hour winds post-tropical cyclone going into West Virginia. 35-mile-an-hour winds post-tropical, and 40-mile-an-hour wind post-tropical cyclone. And that's going into Nova Scotia. So it does get stronger going through New York City. And yeah. And keep in mind, if it does go south of there, there's a chance this thing could go tropical again. But the fact that this is going to be a thing is, like, horrid. But I actually do need to screenshot this for the thumbnail, so there'll be some minor editing on stream. But outside of that, there's really not going to be much there. Everything's mostly focused on this. But then there's cone and models. So, actually, let's get that done out of the way. Mess with the thumbnail. It is monetized, as I don't know why. It's just more or less like YouTube says it doesn't affect the algorithm, but given how corporate is, given corporate behavior, it probably does affect it, and I'm not going to say anything about it. So I monetize to help get the word out. But yeah. Got that done. Now on to Depression 10. 35-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, this is forecast to become a tropical storm. Peaking was 65-mile-an-hour winds so far. Cannot rule out this thing becoming a hurricane. Bright side, outside of rip currents, parts of the Caribbean and Bermuda, this doesn't appear to be much of a threat to land. But satellite imagery, cone, and models may pose a threat for the Azores, and that'd be maybe a little bit more than rip currents. But right now, it appears to be harmless outside of the rip current threat. Got Tropical Storm Julian. This thing really jumped up. but weakening 45. I doubt it'll do that. Going up to 60. 60 post-tropical cyclone. 50 and 45. Cannot rule out a 65-mile-an-hour wind peak, either as a post-tropical cyclone or a tropical storm. But satellite imagery, and actually, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes hurricane too. Cone and models. And then from there, we have Nora. Still a 75-mile-per-hour wind hurricane. And it did make landfall again in, okay, do apologize here. I do have the snake out, and he just slithered in front of on the phone, and apparently scales are susceptible to affecting that. She just made landfall. We'll get to that almost right away, but first got Nora. 75, 75, tropical storm 70, 70-mile-an-hour winds, final landfall, well, not final landfall, 65-mile-an-hour winds, 65 with the final landfall, tropical depression 35. I'm just gonna clear this, because, like, what is happening? Is a geomagnetic storm doing this? Cone. Okay. Well, if this thing does become tropical storm, that would cancel all the hurricane warnings. Hurricane watches would probably still play, and then there's tropical storm warnings and watches, and then models. But now, let's get off this app and back on it. Mostly to refresh because of the Ida landfall. After that, we'll get to the, yeah. It made landfall. This thing officially made landfall 11:55 a.m. Central Daylight Time, just west of Port Fortune. Hopefully, no one is in Port Fortune at this time, because, well, they're probably dead. Hate to be dark. But, okay, everyone left. Anyways. I don't know what's going on. Gonna have to probably pause real quick to turn on hotspot, so BRB. And we're back at a turn on hotspot so I could have access to this on um, laptop, but it appears that doesn't help. Okay, so that's not gonna happen. Just gonna pause again so I could try to. Well, gotta pause. Got that off. Okay, so that's out of the way. Um, Still, 150-mile-an-hour winds at landfall in Port Fortune, Louisiana. Definitely a port area here. I hope everyone's has evacuated from there. But everything else appears to be the same in terms of strength and path and all that. But landfall there, yeah. Not what I was expecting at all, but it made landfall. Officially made landfall. I'm not sure if the comments are showing up. I'm not sure if there's any comments at all. Let me mute volume because I want to see if there's any comments because I do not know. It's like a golden meadow to the north. It's just gonna be very gruesome today. So I guess go to Twitter. See if there's anything active going on there with the flash flooding, tornadoes, any other news. Yeah, I'll get to Hurricane Ida in a bit. Right now, this is the course of action right now. Severe thunderstorm warning. Report St. Joe, Beacon Hill, and... Okay, that was 3 hours ago, but that was still due to Ida, which is interesting. It's causing severe thunderstorm warnings to pop up in Florida, of all when it's made landfall in Louisiana. Splash flooding for New York, New Jersey. Okay. I was not expecting flash flooding there, but still gonna report on it. New Jersey, Ocean City. There's flash flood warning for Milano, Florida, parts of Alabama. This one would be due to Ida. And the flash flood warning Pensacola due to Ida. That was 1 hour ago, and then this expired a while ago. Okay, anything with tornado? Last tornado warning was for Ensley, Florida, 3 hours ago, and that was due to Ida. Ida-induced tornadoes have been going on for a while. It's just I wasn't really awake. Otherwise, I would have reported on them. But there is a tornado watch until 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time for Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi. A lot of these tornadoes will be waterspout tornadoes going on to land. But yeah, small marble-sized hail is possible. So, and isolated gusts up to 60-mile-an-hour winds possible, even though that is a hurricane with 150-mile-an-hour winds. So, I'd say possibly expect gusts upwards of that, especially the closer to the eye you are. Hanska, yeah. But nonetheless, it's like, what is happening? Okay. Let's go Hurricane Ida. Al Roker. Okay. Of the eye of Hurricane Ida. And again, if anyone's commenting, I'm not sure what's going on because I guess they removed the thing where it pops up on the screen, which I was hoping it would still be there. But, and I have no other way to check. So I do apologize. So, because the internet's out till Thursday, and it's just a lot of other chaos there. But yeah, Hurricane, all that stuff. Yeah. And of course, people going straight into the religion side of things. Again, don't really blame them. Hopedale. See about this, what? Scuba feet. Yeah. Okay, can't really catch an eye on anything for resolution. His resolution is kind of poor right now. So can't really determine what's going on. But I'm just kind of speechless right now because this whole situation. The fact that people are outside during this. In the hurricane. Now I'm just waiting for that video of that guy with the flag and the hair to show up. It's only a matter of time. But, yeah. Yeah, uninhabitable for months. That's the sad part, especially with winters around the corner. That's not going to be good, especially if there's a repeat like last year, where this area pretty much froze over. Yeah. Let's hope New Orleans gets spared of the bulk of this. That's the best bet right now. Don't. Yeah. The hell? Oh my god, that needs to be reported. I'm reporting this. I'm just harmful, I don't know. Disrespectful. I'm just... No. Hell no. What they're doing, hell no. They're getting reported. Again, can't see any comments, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I need to find a way to fix that. On the bright side, this thing did make landfall at noon. So... But it's like... Oh. Sewage pumps failed. So all added water will flood. This is 25-foot waves. Keep in mind, New Orleans is about like 8 feet below sea level. The topography of this region of Louisiana is similar to that of the Netherlands. Keep that in mind. A lot of areas susceptible to, yeah. Grand Isle. Gusts over 175. That would be Cat 5 in terms of gusts. Ooh, that's feet. Grand Isle's getting that eye wall. There'll probably be nothing left of Grand Isle or Golden Meadow by the end of this. And then there's people like this. Okay. I mean, maybe this is normal weather, but then again, when was the last time a hurricane of this strength made landfall in, well, I would say, wait, never mind. An earthquake, a hurricane of this strength made landfall in Louisiana last year. So, yeah. Before that, hasn't really been heard of since Camille, and then Katrina was a Cat 3 at landfall, so... And even make landfall in Louisiana, made landfall in Mississippi. So it's like, yeah. Yeah. That's completely underwater. this will give a lot of people PTSD. And those who survived Katrina, Laura, Delta, Zeta. Oh, okay, so it does pop up. There has been tornado warnings. I'm not sure if there's been any confirmed tornadoes. And if there are, their damage is going to be skewed by the damage from Ida herself. Okay, so the comments do pop up. Okay, that makes it so much easier. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Comments do pop up. Okay. But has made landfall. Comparable of that with the EF2. I'd say with this wind speeds, I'd say it'd be borderline Cat F3. Latest. Flash flood warnings. I'll get to that in a bit. There's only 2 active flash flood warnings right now, and that's for the Florida-Alabama border region. And there's 2 active flash flood warnings in parts of New Jersey and New York, and that's totally unrelated to this. Yeah, honestly. But you misspelled west. It's not wheat. So, the West Coast needs to become once again a wet coast. That is for sure, but... Okay, what the heck am I watching here? Next landfall. Keep in mind, landfall is 20 minutes ago. It's quite a bit of way of lightning. But it's like, yeah, some monsters, alright. Okay, people are being really sarcastic on this. Okay. Fort Chen. What? Alright. Yeah. Well. And actually, it's been a while since we had a Cat 5. We didn't even have one in 2020. I mean, yeah, the last storm of 2020 was initially labeled as a Cat 5, but postseason analysis ruled that it wasn't. The last Cat 5, I think, was Dorian. That was 2019. And there was, yeah, the Irma, Maria, those were Cat 5s. Michael, 2018. Lorenzo was also a Cat 5. I just don't remember what year that was. I think that was 2020. No, it was 2019. I covered that, and I started covering hurricanes on this channel in 2019. Yeah, it's funny when the government cares more about doing what's right for the party versus and staying in power than actually doing what's right for the people. You know, abolish the parties. Oh my god. And it's people that make it dark. Darker than it has to be. El Camino Bay on the causeway. Okay. Let's go photos. Actually, better yet, videos. Photos first, and then go videos. Because photos include GIFs. Like that. But it's like... Yeah. But as for someone who's against masks and whatnot, after this it would be wise to put on masks because all the asbestos and all that crap that's going to be kicked up in the air because of this hurricane. It does protect against that stuff. So, there you go. And have more long-term effects than COVID itself, as that tends to lead to cancer. Let's go video, because this is just... See if there's anything I haven't seen yet. Tree down near La Place, Louisiana. Just one tree that could be lightning related. I mean, if it was anything wind related, there would be more than just the one tree down. So, okay, what?
Start with that. Grab something and get in the truck. What are you doing? There's a hurricane coming right now. How big is it? It's a Category 5, like 200-mile-per-hour winds. There's a news crew in our front yard right now. They even shut down the Waffle House. Why didn't you start with that? Grab something and get in the truck.
Yeah. Terry. Yeah. Okay. Okaloosa Island, Florida Panhandle. You're gonna be cleaning out that pool for months. You know that one for sure right now. But yeah, and an earthquake in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Probably where either Depression 10 or Julian's at. Like King Julian, but it's a hurricane. debris is already flying, and it's likely a piece of paper that got caught in the wind or something. Ooh, that's shingles. That would be shingles. Okay. Loose cardboard. But there's going to be a lot more than that flying around in the coming hours. Now it's kind of too late to be putting up towers. Okay, I'm gonna check on this earthquake because that could be related. That's, well, not that could be near where some stuff hit. I'm not sure, but and this thing is really active right now. Interesting tidbit there, yeah. The fact that happened is interesting. Where Julian's at. I think with this being Iris, there's a noise thing. Yeah, a little noise thing. Actually show you something here. Apparently with the noise, sometimes you could hear it thud. Max that out. Oh. That's coming from Mina, Nevada. Of course you're not going to feel anything there. You hear anything there. Okay, location. Guess up close to Mina, Nevada. Probably get something like this one. That's near Mina. Because Iris is for some reason only near Mina. I heard breathing. What? I don't like it. I don't like it, no. But yeah. Something to show there. Lightning strikes, yeah. Keep in mind, lightning's more common in the outer bands than closer to the eye. That tend to be limited to the more strong hurricanes, like Ida. Ooh, those pillars just remind me the Magnolia Plantation is gonna be really charged up because of this. Those of you into the paranormal, the hauntings here is gonna be like Louisiana's a very haunted state, and this is gonna charge that stuff up. It's gonna agitate what's there. It's gonna add spirits, sadly. But it's like, yeah, one of those things. Yeah. Hurricane season started in May. With Anna. Reed's live on Facebook. He's probably also live on YouTube, but it's like, eh. Yeah. Yeah, sadly posted that 2 hours ago and it made landfall half an hour ago. It's too late to leave. Gotta hunker down. Hope for the best. If you believe in an afterlife. Do what you can to better your chances in said afterlife. It's like, yeah. I don't know how that relates to Ida edits, but okay. Let's see if there's anything new on the tornado, flash flood. Guess I'll even check. Oh. I checked just in time. This thing was just issued. Tornado warning for Daphne, Fairhope, and Foley, Alabama until 1:15 Central Daylight Time. Pea-sized hail is also possible. 140,184 people, 30 schools, and 3 hospitals affected by this. Does appear to be heading for Mobile. So there's that. As possible, it could be a water spout going onto land. And someone already replied. Yeah. This would be where the tornado would be. Right here. North of Orange Beach, south of Alberta. Heading for Foley. So there's that to keep an eye out on. Actually retweet this. And then, yeah. Had that gut feeling to check it. Tornado warning right on cue. Okay. Nothing new in flash flooding, which is surprising. Anything new in severe thunderstorm? Nothing since the Port St. Joe. But yeah, that was issued just as I checked that. Oh my gosh. What are the odds? And Manifest has a 4th season. Okay. Well, that is the final season, so I guess nothing happens there. But yeah, definitely gonna be binge watching that when that comes into play. What's the Weather Channel saying? Because they're gonna be talking about the Ida thing a lot too. Yeah. And those of you, wherever, if Jim Cantor's in your area, you definitely gonna want to seek shelter. But again, on the bright side with it making landfall, it's not gonna get stronger. It's gonna start to weaken. Should start see it dropping like 130. Eventually, it'll do rapid detensification. Yeah. Felicia Combs. Yeah. And I'm just gonna plug my crap in here because I don't care. There you go. Have fun. So, yeah. So now, they might jump in here. Some, just people I know online, friends, whatnot. But, yeah, just one of those like, hello. Probably have a little chaos with that, maybe. But, I'm just gonna go to satellite imagery, I guess. But yeah. But yeah. But it's gonna be fun. Okay. So just testing that. Okay. But yeah, this satellite imagery is yet to update, but landfall has happened. Ooh, that's flood or severe thunderstorm. Has nothing to do with Ida, but still a severe thunderstorm warning for Petoskey, Boyne City, and Charlevoix, Michigan until 2:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-an-hour winds, penny-sized hail cannot rule out a tornado or water spout. 67,498 people, 37 schools, and 2 hospitals affected by this. So, with that, that does seem to be it for right now. Stay safe. Well, I'm not in a stream. I thought I was recording a video. It's like, don't buy my live stream. But now we're back. Just giving him ideas. Say you lost power due to Ida. Giving her ideas. I don't know why. But, yeah. Let's zoom in to the core. But I can see why tornadoes are popping up in Alabama, Florida. Oh gosh. Okay, that's another one. That's... Okay, so yeah, that's landfall. You see land in the eye, that's landfall. That's another severe thunderstorm. Another including for St. Ignace, Mackinac Island, and Detour Village, Michigan, until 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-an-hour winds, penny-sized hail, canal or waterspout. 10,262 people, 12 schools, and 1 hospital affected there. Keep in mind, yeah, well, there's Mackinac Island. That's actually one of the few islands in the U.S. where they banned cars. Just a little tidbit there. But anyways, going back to Ida. So here we go. I do have Salazar with me, the snake. He's doing good right now. So it's like, yeah, I have a little animal with me. Why not? I know he's a snake. Hello. Yeah. Handful of Ida. Actually, well, there's nothing going on at the moment. Let's go over forecasts. So we got 2 systems, the Delmarva Peninsula. So that system that's showing up on that radar is actually doing something. Okay. This thing has a 20% chance of forming on land. Oh my gosh. And then that Delmarva coast. Yeah, this thing's coming right out the gate. There's Julian, there's Tim. It's gonna be the K name. Yeah, you're in Florida. Are you Panhandle? Because if you are, you'll be getting affected by this. You're in Peninsula. You got the thing to that invest to keep an eye on. Not the one Delmarva, but the one still in Africa. Delmarva appears to be not much threat to land outside of rip currents. But it's like, what? But, and I wouldn't be surprised if that swirl near Depression 10 becomes an invest. So keep that in mind. And there's a front to the northwest of my area, so if anything happens, this will turn into, well, this will go from an Ida stream to we got a severe thunderstorm warning in my area. Gonna stream that kind of stream in a heartbeat. Just letting you guys know. And there's storm chances tomorrow in my area. They're actually better than the chances today, and that will also be streamed if anything happens. Active events. That means tornado. Yep, tornado. Continuation of the Daphne warning. Now only 127,000 people versus 140,000 people. One less school, same amount of hospitals. So, there's that. Let's get back to this. And anything in the Pacific? Just Nora. Outside of that, it's dead. Which is good. Which is good. We already have enough going on in the Atlantic. We already have something in the Pacific. We don't need any more additions. That includes a 3.1 earthquake in Spain. Speaking of earthquakes, there's that 1.7 Hawaii. Just gonna tap onto that. See what that's all about. It's likely 2 kilometers of depth. Kilauea. The north. So, there's that. So anyone have any questions? Because I don't really have much else to bring up until stuff starts popping up again. Because there's really not much going on right now, and it's like, what? Well, like I shown you into, actually that would be more or less answered on how to survive hurricanes. I did touch up on that, there. And honestly, I should probably put that in a description box or something. Outlook? Models? What? Okay, what? Okay. Temperatures, that would show water temperatures, and oh my god. It's really hot right there. So there might be a little inertia with that. Satellite. Boy. Oh, Tampa goes to Florida. Okay, so you had effects from Fred and Elsa so far this year. But like, well, how they form is like, oh boy. And I think it probably had some outer bands from Ida. I could be wrong, but I think this thing at most will be a brief depression. That invest out the Delmarva coast. But let's go Outlook. That's actually the best way to show what I'm talking about. But there's three main ways they form in the Atlantic, and one of these, and two of the Pacific also. And two of these methods are currently invests. One is a stalled front. This disconnects from a low pressure system, becomes its own low pressure system, and it could become tropical. And there you go, there. That's what this here is. That is what happened there. Now, these little swirls and stuff that come off the coast of Africa, they're like tropical waves. Again, they come off the coast, get more organized. You get the depressions, the tropical storms, the hurricanes. That's how Ida and 10 formed. I think Julian formed the same way. There's this swirl here that could go tropical, and then there's this that's coming off the coast. That's a more common way. Now the third way, that's actually how Cristobal formed last year, and I think the sea name of this year formed that way too. That could also be how Nora formed. I could be there. But usually in the early parts of hurricane season, there's like this weird like cutoff low called the Central American Gyre. That just sits in this region, and occasionally you will get swirls that come off that low and become tropical systems. Those are three main ways that they form in the Atlantic, and the waves that don't form in the Atlantic, that don't form in the tropical systems in the Atlantic, can go into the Pacific and form. And then the Pacific also comes off, gets stuff from the American Gyre, and occasionally, and what happened with Marty is a hurricane crosses the Central American, crosses Central America, and then reforms on the other side. It can happen both ways, actually. As Cristobal, like it did form off the American Gyre, it was Amanda at one point in the Pacific, went into the Atlantic via the Gyre, and became Cristobal. Both formed from the Gyre, too. But yeah. And got a new continuation for the tornado warning for Daphne. So we'll get to that immediately. I think you could rule out waterspout at the moment. Still a threat for Daphne, Foley, and Robertsdale. So, that was tornado, right? No, this is tornado. That means this is something else. Severe thunderstorm. Pleasantville, Pennsylvania, until 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 60-mile-an-hour winds, penny-sized hail, cannot rule out a tornado. 2,365 people in a school affected by this. Continuations upon continuations. This is including more includings for Churchville and Deerfield, Virginia, until 2:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-an-hour winds, penny-sized hail, cannot schools affected there. Parts of Michigan until 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Ping-pong-sized hail, 75-mile-an-hour winds, which would be hurricane force. Frequent lightning is also possible. Cannot rule out tornadoes or waterspouts. 1,552,513 people, 875 schools, and 48 hospitals affected there. For some reason, they sent this watch out twice. But same thing, same risks, not much change there. But I think another tornado warning was just issued. Nope, it's just this Daphne thing. For Daphne. And now we got the new update for Ida come out. Sticking with 150-mile-an-hour winds. And it's going into this little bay area. So technically it's back out at sea. But I don't expect it to strengthen. It's more likely to weaken than strengthen. It's more likely to stay its current strength. Grand Isle's over here. Yeah, I'm very sure it did get it's probably submerged right now. But Port Fortune is the one that is destroyed. That one I could almost guarantee you because it made landfall there. To La Forche? Yeah. This area is gone. And the fact it's a port, you could expect prices to go up. There's Nora, and there will be more updates on Julian and Depression 10, which may become the K-name Storm, which I should check on that, see what that name would be. But I just don't have that in the head right now. That's gonna be pretty much the same. But satellite imagery, that may change. Actually, yeah. So maintaining strength. It did get stronger since landfall. Well, drop 3 millibars of pressure at landfall and maintaining that strength. Cone and models. Oh, yeah. Going for Nora now, which is now officially a tropical storm. For some reason, this thing wants to come back down south and go north. If that does happen, that's going to be more flooding in this region. But 65 mile an hour winds, 65, 60 upon final landfall, 45, depression 35. Satellite imagery. This could bring much. Are you being legit? If you're legit, I'm gonna have to remove you or mute you because that's a whole COPPA violation there. That could get me in trouble, that could get you in trouble, your parents in trouble. Because this is... And that's a $42,000 fine. Yeah, probably best if you head out. See you in about 5 years. Because anyone under the age of 13 can't really be on YouTube. There's YouTube Kids. And this is more or less looking out for everyone, especially in the weather community, because that could lead to stuff that could dismantle the entire YouTube industry. But anyways, severe thunderstorm warning for Waterford, Vincent, and Stewart, Ohio until 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 16 mile an hour winds. Appears to be along the border of West Virginia. But yeah, 60 mile an hour winds, quarter-size hail, cannot rule out a tornado. 12,741 people and 9 schools affected there. So, that's that for now. I should probably go back to home page so it'd be easier to get to the other stuff. Yeah, gonna have to... Yeah. Thank you for removing the age, so I didn't have to. I accidentally tapped on an ad, and I do not want to. Okay, so, can't do anything on here. This is where mods would come into play. I did dumb. No one cares about the skin. But cut off is definitely gonna get cut off. But yeah, it's gonna be some fun. But gonna have to pause real quick, get something to drink. And yeah, so BRB. let the radar run. Alright, back. Had to get something to hydrate. Should really bring a water bottle in here, but that's not where my mind is going. But anyone say anything? No. Okay. Okay, a volcano level mountain. There's a 4.1 in New Zealand. That's likely in the Kermadex. And yeah. I think Level Mountain might end up being Volcano of the Day. Maybe. I don't know. But that'll be after this. This is going to be a good chunk of the day. Since it's been a minute, I'll check here to see if there's anything new on the severe side. Because the Discord notifications doesn't pick up on everything. And judging by that, there's been something new. Oh, no, that's just Weather Prediction Center. Okay. Flash flooding likely. I'd say more or less certain. But yeah. High risk for the rain, yeah. Excessive rain. At least in this area, you don't have to worry about drought for a long time. The fact that SpaceX is trending is not really helpful. But yeah, Daphne, there's that. And Well, continuing with the flash flooding for New Jersey and Ohio. Here's all the flash flooding is outside of Ida. Amesville, Sharpsburg, Ohio. Which is pretty interesting that the flash flooding is targeting outside of Ida. Which is interesting nonetheless. Just continuations for these warnings. That does appear to be the case. Little Lake, California with a 0.9. Sheboygan, Indian River, and Harbor Springs, Michigan with a new warning. Severe thunderstorm warning for until 2:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-an-hour winds, penny-sized hail, cannot rule out a tornado. 31,959 people, 20 schools, and a hospital affected by that. So, that's that. And I suppose this might end up ending stream soon, as people are wanting to do stuff out there, like play music and stuff, and I'll be courteous of that, as they're aware of the DMCA issues and being mindful of that. But I think I was live for the past, hour and a half. I don't know what's going on, but might end up ending stream for right now, but I will do hourly updates as the hourly updates continue. I will be active today. It's just a matter of keep on this, because there's not a lot of tornadoes coming from this, which is good. There's not a lot of flooding. There's literally only 2 flash flood warnings in effect right now, and that's for Florida and Alabama. So based off of warnings, inland flooding, there's really not much right now, but that will change. The storm surge out there wreaking havoc. We're looking at 6 feet of water in spots at least. Keep in mind, the average human's height's less than that. Barely, but it is less than that. But yeah. Nonetheless, that does seem to be it for right now, though, considering the circumstances. But it's like, it's really not much else happening. But I will keep updated on everything. The flooding, the severe weather, the tornadoes that come in, the updates from Ida and Nora, Julian, and Depression 10. Actually, I wonder if they have new updates come in. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Nope, no new updates yet. Okay. Probably because our main focus is Nora and Ida. But, nonetheless, that does seem to be it for right now. Stay safe. I think the next updates for those two will be at 4. But anyway, stay safe. See you in the next video or stream. Bye.